Several years ago, a researcher named Hans den Rook reached out to my family to learn about my father's time during World War II. My father has always been reluctant to talk about those memories. More recently, Hans connected a fellow researcher, Gil Geerings, with us, and he encouraged my father to tell his story. About this interview, I can understand this will be so difficult for your father, but you have to say to him that he is a true hero and people have to know what he experienced. This is the only way we can keep history alive, that people will not forget all the sacrifices that were made for our freedom. I can talk about history, but that just makes me a storyteller. When your father tells something, people take it seriously. There is no wrong way he could tell his experiences. He was and still is such a brave man. I have tremendous respect for him. His entire military career is interesting, but because his crash landing was so close to my home, this part is the most interesting for me. It might sound silly, but I do believe in fate. Maybe it is with the purpose that a man from Belgium, more than 70 years later, came across his forgotten story and was able to locate him. It is this email and many other exchanges like it that eventually led to this interview.
My name is James Crifo.
And when and where were you born?
I was born in I believe, a Bellevue Hospital in New York City.
What were you doing before the war?
Before the war, going to school, working. I was learning to become an electrician. Worked at the Hotel Sadler, or Hotel Pennsylvania, in New York.
How old were you around this time?
18, maybe, when I got out of school, about 18 years old. That's it. Yeah, when Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, I believe I was, I was at home watching, see what happened. I was drafted. My specialty was, I became a communication, because I was an electrician, and I knew communication was one of my favorites, and that was it. From home is my wallet, picture of my family, maybe a few religious items in my wallet, and myself. At the beginning, it's strange, it's something different. Yeah, no. Takes a little time to become friendly. I mean, that's the way I am. I'm a loner. I'm a loner myself. He was one guy, Shaburka. He comes from Binghamton. We became very good friends. We went to England together, to London. We were there for a while. Then he was in another area, but we were still friends. But then I ended up being first echelon. I don't know why, but maybe because of communication. I don't know. I don't know what was he dealing in. But communication usually goes first. So that's what happened. We ended up being first echelon, and then I heard that he probably took off on the second echelon. And I never heard from him. I never saw him. I never heard. But I had the picture of him, and I knew his name, and I knew he came from Binghamton, and we never got to see each other. From France, we went to Holland. We were transferred. We went to the base camp, then all of a sudden we got orders to go. We had to go to Holland. On the glider, yeah, nobody was talking. Nobody was saying anything. You had your equipment and everything else, because we were in communication. All we had was the equipment, the communication equipment on the glider. We had a trailer on ours. Some of them had Jeeps. Mine was with the equipment, even though it crashed, it was supposed to land it. It didn't get loose or anything. Nobody got hurt with crashing, or the trailer got hurt, broke up. It's just that we all started to disperse. Now I don't know where the other four dispersed from what area, but three of us dispersed from the different area, and I'm assuming that we fell in the wrong spot. As soon as it crashed, we tried to get out of the glider, and we were being fired upon. So you return fire as much as you can. Three of us are once doing the firing. From what I understand, there was four of them that escaped that were behind us, they tell us. I didn't know that. They claimed that they were back of us, and that's why they weren't firing, because maybe they figured they were going to hit us. I don't know. Because I didn't hear no firing from them. Maybe they did. I don't know. I don't know, really know. All I know is the three of us were firing. But then I heard one of them get hurt. Then I heard the other one got shot in the back from, I don't know, from the Germans. And I just happened to be the lucky one to be, that was maybe, how would you say it, an angel, the German. Because sometimes they get rid of you right away. They don't need you. Like they say, maybe they needed me for information because there was nobody else except me. I don't know. I'm just a lucky guy to be here. From there, I got interviewed by the German. They wanted to know what was going on. I told them nothing, just like I told my daughter. What else? Then from there, they shipped me on a railroad car, and they sent me to a prison camp in Traunstein. There used to be an old man that used to watch us. He was old enough to be my grandfather. He used to say, "Oh, you always do eat and sleep." The Americans eat. Essen, Scheiße, and Schlafen. He knows what I meant. That's what they say. That was it. And you did the best you can, what you got. That's all you can do. I was there for a while. Then we got transferred from there with a small group of eight of us. They took us, and we went to work for this German contractor or whatever the hell he was. And that was it. And that's where I was a prisoner in this cabin. It's a cabin, but it was locked down, and I used to watch. Nobody could get in and get out. And you took off your shoes or whatever you had, and you wore clots.
Did you talk to him? The owner?
Talk to the ones that were with me, yeah.
The ones that were with you?
Yeah, the eight of us. We used to maybe talk a little, and that was it. And that's where I got sick a little. And then they took me and they put me in the hospital. And then while I was in the hospital, the Americans came through the town, and that's where I got liberated, right there. You change altogether. The way you're thinking, maybe you don't think as properly the way you should. You don't function the same as I call you would. Let's see. You're not all there, like you should say. You're like a little lost person in a sense. That's the way I felt. That something came out of my way of thinking. I'll just put one thing to you. Being in the service was good. For what I went through, it took a lot out of me. Mentally, I think, believe it or not.
What do you think got you through that time?
Thinking that I would get home sooner or later someday. That was my only hope.
What was it like returning home?
Can't beat it. Can't beat it at all. The only thing I regret, like I always say, I think I put my mom through a lot through it. Being I was told as a prisoner of war or whatever. At first I presumed they sent me presumed dead or whatever, and then they told me I was a prisoner of war. And that's my only regret, making my mother go through a lot.
What emotion did you feel when you received the Legion of Honor from the French government?
I was very proud. I was very happy. I was very surprised. I wouldn't even think about doing it. And it's a medal that I'll remember. I got through the French, but I wouldn't have even attempted to even think about it.
And what about the Purple Heart?
Purple Heart was because of a few shrapnel things that I got. Nothing really serious. Unless they give it to you because you're a prisoner of war, I don't know.
Well, you are a hero.
I tell you, want to know something? I try to forget about it. I don't envy any of them who are still living, or any young guy that going through this. It's not a picnic.
Do you have any animosity towards the German people?
No, I don't think so. The only thing is that I can say is how the hell did they ever get themselves involved with such a man, Hitler? Or not only Germany, let's put it in a different country. That one person like that could control that country. Did the people let them do that, or what? Or they were brainwashed? I could never figure that out myself. Maybe somebody can maybe show me why. Why? Can anybody show me?
Do you have any lessons that you would pass on?
And just being grateful that you're alive and able to do what you want to do, and as best as you can. Try to be good to people when you can. And just being grateful that you're alive and able to do what you want to do.
Jim Crifo, interview, take one.
Good thing she didn't hit my notes.